Sure.
So yeah, introduce yourself with where you are, and maybe what's
Sure.
what's the most interesting intention you can just share right now. I can start.
I haven't
So
had my morning coffee, so I'll drink one. I'll start drinking while you talk.
Yes, please. So you're in California, right? It's 8
It's
hours.
8 in the morning. Yes.
Oh, okay. So it's at least daylight time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm guessing since you all clicked on the link and found me, you know who I am. I set this up because I'm interested in connections. I'm interested in creating a container for learning and for something to grow. At breakfast today, a friend mentioned that he had read a post about where somebody had written down, looking back on this year from the end of the year, what emerged, what became possible, a futurologist or some guy of that sort. And then we had this brief conversation of like, yeah, what would we like to look back to in autumn or in winter? And then the next obvious thing was, what can we do now to make that happen? So yeah, have a container to make conscious what's currently boiling up. And yeah, so I'm in love with the number of people that show up on very short notice. Glad to reconnect to some of you. I haven't seen some of you in years, and checked in.
Okay. Maybe I just continue. Actually, working more and more on leadership issues with middle management, I start thinking exactly about, well, beyond all this method and whatever thing is, it's about handling relationships and managing relationships and supporting the middle management there to grow into their maybe slightly different tasks that they have to do. So with regards to me and where I am, I'm in the middle of Germany right now. Beautiful weather. It's 4:30 in the afternoon. I'm sitting in a very, very chaotic office at the moment, since I moved in here just a few weeks ago and never managed to get it cleaned up and sorted. So everything is really like, yeah, unsorted. I'm actually in here to connect with you and exchange on ideas. And with regards to that looking back feature, I think right now building blocks in our society got loose and are movable that were like fixed with concrete for many years. So we either can use the chance to push things in directions where we actually would have never thought it would be possible about a few weeks ago, and we should use that to make a difference. And so yeah, that's why I would like to hear what you're thinking about and what we can do. I'm in.
Welcome.
Welcome.
Hello.
Welcome. I'll go next. That's okay. I'm sitting here in Fürth near Nuremberg, or I'm standing. I built a stand-up desk from what I have here. I'm an enterprise agile coach, something like that at the moment, for a firm with 8,000 employees. I'm progressing on the organization of about 300 people, and at the beginning of the week, or Sunday, no, last Sunday, I wrote a blog post about well, what we do now without having co-location, talked about over communication, fail fast, be creative, be faithful. And I realized this was a bit too early. Everybody was at the point, yeah, getting my tech ready now, okay? And everybody is now getting back to what I was talking about there, and I think that's some point where we are at. They are doing lunch breaks together via video and starting stuff like that, and talking about having the same approach to video chat and something like that. So is it okay when the kids are coming by through video chat and talking about all the things, and yeah, that's kind of the point where I'm at the moment, getting the people together, getting them to talk about it and sort things out, because I don't think we're seeing the end of this anytime soon, even though we will get back to the buildings, but more people will stay more often without co-location, and I think we can put us up with a good foundation from the situation we have now, where we have to cope with it. Yeah, I think I'm in. Good to see my neighbor 2 stairs up in video chat.
Welcome.
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 So maybe I just continue then. Yeah, I'm Lisa. I'm sitting 2 floors above Tobias. So we didn't plan to see each other here, so that was really nice. And yeah, I'm working with a team in Stuttgart usually, and of course I'm not able to go there at the moment. So we are all working from home, and we are all working. We are different, or we're trying different tools, because we already worked with some tools, because we have some people working from Munich, but it was not the best state yet. So we were still in this planning, trial and error thing. So there we still have some problems to face. So if we have like 10 people, or at some points even 12 people in a video chat, and we're using Nextcloud, and it's kind of messy, and all the people are, it's going down and up again, and it's a bit frustrating. And for me, it's a really challenging time to, yeah, define my own, yeah, kind of working, because I usually am really working with the emotions in the room and the little pieces between the people, and I don't have that anymore, so I kind of feel a little bit lost. Mm-hmm. So for me, it's very interesting to yeah, share some experiences with you, and I'm also very interested in, and I think this might be a big change or a chance also, that in these times we remember our humanity. Like Tobias said, okay, the people are checking in. Is it okay that my child is running around the video chat in the background, stuff like that. So I'm very curious where this might lead us as a society, and what possibilities lie within this crisis. So I'm very curious what you think about that, and how we maybe are able to collectively change something about the way we were used to work. I think that's it for the moment.
Welcome.
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 Welcome. Well, I guess I'll go. I'm Michael. I'm here in sunny San Diego, California, where it's 8 in the morning and I slept in. I'm usually a morning person, but not today. I woke up, rolled over, looked at my phone and go, okay. Why not? Because I'm extremely curious. The world has changed, and in a way that we don't really fully get. This is a comet hitting the Yucatan. This is the nature of relationships is going to be different from now on. I don't think we fully get the impact, and yet we can feel it in our DNA a little bit. We can feel it in our bodies, and coping with it. It's fine saying, all right, a couple of weeks. Any longer than that, and we're going to see some unexpected things. So, and not all of it's going to be great. I just joined, as Olaf said, the community of certified Agile enterprise coaches, and so I get onto the board, and I'm seeing all these people struggling, and it's interesting struggle because you can't actually teach Agile as you always did. So just from a professional level, I'm rewriting. I have a course coming up, and it's switched to online, and totally going back to first principles and saying, well, what are we teaching here? And what we're teaching is the course is called Leading Agile Teams, but all the great simulations I do and all the things you said, Lisa, which is spot on, about reading the room and being emotionally present are missing. And this is how we interact now. I don't know, human beings are not designed for this. And I think it's an evolutionary trigger, but that, and certainly I'm not designed for this. And so I've changed the theme of or the question being answered where it used to be, how will this Agile stuff help us and how do I be in it, to more like how do we survive and thrive in a distributed work at home company? And that's more of the question to answer. So from a professional point of view, I'm just trying to get very quickly, one, skilled at using this tool and all the other online tools, figuring out how to connect groups together, learn from the wisdom, because we're all collectively trying to figure this out, but on a very deeper level. What is society now and what is humanity now? Because it has changed, and we were just not really cut out to be sitting in our bedrooms or our offices doing this sort of shit. And, on a personal level as well, I just moved into a new place and I have two other people I don't know very well in the house. And we are in the storming phase of that. What do you mean you went out?
I know what you're talking about.
So, but most importantly, like Olaf knows, I too am someone who's a hugger. That nourishes me, and particularly because it allows me to nourish others.
Yeah.
And that has been the subsistence of my being for all my adult life. And now I figure out, how can I take care of my well-being and others like this? And I don't know that's possible, but I'm just in the curious inquiry of it. And with that all said, I'm in. Thank you.
Welcome.
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 Awesome stuff emerging. What I noticed, I'll share that later. Go ahead.
No, go.
No, let's finish the round of check-in.
Okay.
And then,
So I'm Angelica in Berlin, and so I noticed something interesting. I'm a Scrum Master with a co-located team, and I actually realized that that our conversation now gets more open because we created a private channel for us and kicked our team lead out. So for me, I'm wondering that so I'm exploring more or less the two sides of everything that are emerging. So of course I miss reading the room, and at the same time, because we are all very sensitive and shy people, we seem to flourish more in everyone having his space, everyone having a surrounding that is more certain, more so I'm exploring this, and also I'm exploring being stuck at home, being also together with a person I haven't known for a very long time, also being in a storming phase. What I really like about it, it boils down to things that are very essential to me. So caring for myself when being exposed with another person all the time, so not losing myself. I'm challenged to lead myself better, to set boundaries better, and yeah, it's not so much possible to avoid contact, which I really like, but it sets my whole system under tension. And also something I'm really interested in is I had a mentor once, and I was usually complaining, I can't do sports because I can't go out. And he said, Angelika, you have to find a way to lead your life so that if you were in a prison cell, you would be able to flourish, and you only need to do a couple of things to live, and I cannot enumerate them. Breathing is one of them, and getting exercise and that, and also yeah, and getting contact. And this is it kind of satisfies my wish for simplicity and essential things, and I'm interested in exploring that. And the setting we are now in is actually encouraging that. Amin.
Welcome.
Hello.
Welcome.
Is it me?
Yes.
Yes. So first of all, I apologize for the lack of camera. I really just clicked on the link suddenly, and I don't have my laptop around quickly. So apologies for that. For the next times, if I join again, then
No
I will
problem.
use the camera. Anyway, just to give some context on what am I doing and why am I here. So I work at the large US corporation, and I work as an engineering manager currently. And what I'm doing recently is that I'm trying to help teams in their various struggles. So it's a similar role as a Scrum Master, essentially. I've been doing that before for many years. But right now, this is a team where I join now, is a team where there is a Scrum Master. However, the team is struggling with many problems because of the lack of seniority from the Scrum Master and many other problems. So I'm the setup that I work in is that I volunteered or offered help to join the development team, essentially, try to help them in their daily job, and through that also figure out what are the struggles they have, what are the problems, and try to help either in the technical area or in the processes, relationships, etc. So my main expectation in the team was that, okay, so let's figure out how they are with their technical practices. And then I discovered that, okay, so there is much more work to be done with stakeholder management and with helping the Scrum Master, actually. So I'm now shifting my focus. And the challenge I have is that the team is heavily dysfunctional, suddenly switched from a collocated mode to a remote mode where we have limited bandwidth. Cisco WebEx is struggling to actually make calls working. And that is our corporate tool for this. And that is a challenge on itself. So I'm looking for ideas, inspiration, thoughts around that. And the other aspect why I joined is I thought that I will enjoy a conversation with a group of people I don't work with on a daily basis, and it's neither my partner. So some new faces, some new people, some social interactions. So hello, that's all from me.
Welcome.
Welcome.
Yeah,
Welcome.
that was also one of the ideas we had with offering this as a space for conversation for many people who are stuck with the same people, and even if it's online conversations and they're not only alone. Always being with the same people can be tiring, and having some new impulses and some new inspirations can be good. So two things just with the things that I heard about specific questions. So Tamas, when you are stuck with non-video conversations for most of the conversations, I would very strongly recommend that when a conflict emerges or when you want to handle it, that you find some other way to do a video call.
Yes.
Because there's such a big difference.
Totally agree.
So in a company I worked with, they offered these guidelines and they said, hey, it's nice if you stick to asynchronous conversation, but whenever you get into an argument,
Yes.
stop using Slack, move to at least the phone, ideally the video. Because with the increased bandwidth, it's so much easier to navigate.
Of course.
In a situation where your company can't offer that, I would just use my phone and use FaceTime or WhatsApp or whatever for video.
Fortunately, we are not blocked from turning the video on. So this is just on a recommendation level. So we can turn it on. So we do that sometimes. The problem is that one of the dysfunctions is not talking about conflict. So we don't have conflicts, right?
Perfect, yeah. Yeah, so I had a retro yesterday with a big company, or like a small team in a big company. And they said that within the last 5 days, their working from home number of employees changed from 300 to 4,000. So obviously IT is struggling, and the bandwidth they have on their servers and the VPN and all of those connections. So they got the recommendation to not use video. And in fact, even in our very small meeting, the impact of them using video on the connection was really, really visible. So I can understand that they don't do that for normal conversations, but in a situation where my corporate thing doesn't work, I would definitely use any private means I can muster to have video for the important, crucial conversations.
Totally agree.
The other thing I wanted to mention
I encountered another problem with this because we have very strict rules about using private computers and stuff for business, and I have a colleague who tries to avoid anything like the videos and stuff, and says I can't use my private phone and stuff. And that's a problem too. He's fleeing kind of from arguments based on technical arguments, and that's something I'm trying to cope with and trying to get behind that problem, but not that easy at the moment.
What I realized in these cases with people who got burned from violating compliance rules and are then playing it very strict because they say, okay, if I'm not allowed to cover for dysfunctional things with private resources, then it's a company problem. And then I would just recommend to create transparency for that. So if this actually is blocking your work for resolving conflicts, whatever, make it transparent immediately. So we cannot expect that people are violating compliance rules. I mean, we're trying to stretch it all the time. That's okay. But if somebody says, well, I'd rather prefer not to, then it's okay as well to say, okay, your decision. But be aware that I'm going to escalate this, trying to at least get visibility up to whatever level is required to get a different decision.
Yeah, we already listed some of those rules. Some tools may be used with private equipment now, and we started with making that transparent, posting it everywhere that you can use it now. And but still, well, coming from 10, 15 years of those rules, still sticking to it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And what I think is important to give them the feedback that it's totally okay to be strict if they feel like that, but as well to make it obviously that it might be a problem for other people, or that it might slow things down immensely or whatever. So everything we do and every decision that we take has consequences in that regard. And if it is like that, yeah, it's not making actually our life easier, but that's, I think, all that we can do.
I think as you said, one thing that is important for our role, is that because everyone is sitting alone at home, and it's very easy to get self-centered and only see yourself. So I think a very important thing for us as coaches is to let them see the bigger picture and see the system behind it, so that you switch the focus to the whole system again.
Yeah. This is also one important reason for video, if you want to explain to people why video is important, because our mirror neurons don't actually work. They're not triggered by voice. So if I see your emotional reactions to what I say, I get feedback that I can use to, like, oh, I'm sorry, I said something that hurt you. But if I don't see your reaction, it's very unlikely that I'm even getting the trigger, and then I might add more to the conversation. So people are even more self-centered and less empathetic when they don't use video. One thing I wanted to mention, Michael, you said that you are exploring all these new tools right now. So one thing I can say for this tool, that's why I'm using Zoom. Zoom is the only tool, to my knowledge, that can do this. Actually, I didn't say this. Do some of you have a gallery view button up at the top right of your screen?
Yeah, I use that all the time.
Yeah. So if you're not used to using Zoom and you don't know that, and you don't know the most important feature of this tool, because up to, depending on your machine, up to 50 faces you can actually see side by side, which even in a large group, you get this feeling of being in a room with everyone, and everybody having the gallery view. Unless your thing is German, then it might be labeled something different. Do you see everybody side by side, or do you see switching videos of who's talking?
Yeah, I saw the switching part, and now I get it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Sorry, I should have mentioned this at the beginning. So the experience of being in one room is amazing, even if you're more than just 4, 5, 6 people, depending on which tool you use. Most other tools don't do this side-by-side display of so many faces. And I think this is, especially if you're really working and you're having intense interactions. Another thing that Zoom does is breakout rooms. I don't think that makes sense for the last 2 minutes, but I could easily put everybody with a click of a button in rooms with 2 or 3 or 4 of you, and then you could have a conversation about something and come back, which in longer meetings, especially with more people, is extremely valuable and it's really easy to use.
Killer feature.
What it can't do is self-organizing people into groups. So if I just gave you 5 rooms and you could just walk there and decide where you want to go, that's something that Zoom can't do right now. I'm exploring other tools for that. But so we are hitting the hour in a moment. What needs to be said before we close? Reinhard?
Forget about it. I just come back to it later.
Yeah, put it into the document if you want to.
What's just a tool hint with regards to self-organizing?
Yeah, there's a tool called Virtual Facilitator which can do that, but I haven't tried it yet.
I just want to acknowledge everybody, because I don't know about Tomas, but the rest of you are, I believe, in Germany, and might have been, speaking English pretty much for me. So thank you.
Tomas is in Prague, so we started.
Yes, I forgot to say that. Yes,
for him.
Yes, I'm sorry, I
Oh,
skipped
good.
that.
All right. So I'm not quite alone in that, but so I just want to acknowledge you for doing that, and that's
Thank you. You're very welcome. And I like your example of putting your place in your name description. That's a good idea. We can.
I got that from Woody Zuhl.
Yeah.
I'll acknowledge the source. So.
Yeah.
Who's also here in San Diego. So.
Yeah. Okay.
I guess that's it.
So yeah, so my intention is to do this the same time tomorrow and for a few days to come, depending on how things go. I'll pick a topic and post it for tomorrow. Probably tomorrow it'll still be a fairly open conversation, unless we're meeting in mostly the same group. Then we can dive into any of the topics that we've identified. I'll do some cleaning up of the Google Doc and
yeah, I'm welcoming any communications in the interim about that will help me redesign the course and how to train, and all your thoughts. I think the collective hive mind will figure this out.
Yeah.
Olaf, you took note of some impulses of the check-ins.
Yes.
Can you paste that to the document as well?
Yes, I will.
Thank you.
Small technical question. Will the same link work, or will you send new links, or the same link will work?
It will be the same Zoom link.
So I can just save this link, put it in my calendar, and remember.
Yeah, yeah, perfect.
Sounds good. Cool.
Awesome. Cool.
We have
does anybody object to me posting the video of this conversation with a summary so that people can see what this is like? Is that okay?
I have
for
no
everyone?
objection.
Fine for me.
Cool.
Fine.
Thank you very much. Yeah, then have a great remaining day.
You too.
You too.
Take care.
You too.
See you one of these days.
See you tomorrow.
Thank you.
Bye.
Olaf, hast du noch eine Minute?
Ja.
Witzigerweise findet übrigens jeden Tag bei uns im Unternehmen von